Ladies and gents, welcome back. Oh, the troubles of being a corporate climate activist. The media got exactly what they wanted yesterday, but things turned around so quickly when footage leaked of what it was actually going down at the scene of the crime. Now, this I'm talking about Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg was arrested yesterday as she... put it here. Greta Thunberg was arrested for protesting against electric car fuel. What do I mean by electric car fuel? Well, coal. What do you think is going to power all these electric cars? Do you think it's going to be solar and wind? I don't think so. Anyway, so she was at a coal mine protest. She showed up, probably Johnny-come-lately, at the scene. Showed up for her arrest. Well, later footage was released of, what the arrest actually looked like. Here she was posing for the cameras along with the police, because that's what the police do, right? That's what the police are set up for. Hanging out and posing for the cameras. They were laughing and joking, having a good time as this was all taking place. Anyway, we can get into some of the stories here. It was really, really fun how the media stories evolved over time. We have here from Global News, Greta Thunberg detained by German police during coal village protest. After which, BBC reporting, Greta Thunberg detained at German coal protest. CBC, police briefly detained Greta Thunberg in Germany during coal mine protest. Okay, it's getting softer and softer. Greta Thunberg released after brief detention at German coal mine protest. Police say. Oh, what do we got here? We got Greta Thunberg detention sparks accusations of fake arrest. And here we are, Newsweek reporting on Reuters report. The climate activist Greta Thunberg was accused by Twitter users of staging a fake arrest after being briefly detained by German police. Thunberg, 20, who was held by law enforcement Tuesday while protesting the expansion of a coal mine in western Germany, according to Reuters. The young activist, along with the group of protesters, were warned by the police that they would be removed by force. Wait a second. We in Canada know what removed by force looks like. That's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. But we'll get back to what's going on there. If they did not vacate the mine site, Reuters also reported that Thunberg was released from custody after an identity check by law enforcement. So they wanted to run with it. Arrested, held in captivity for caring about their climate. I think these people should care about the environment. I really, we'll have a look at what's left behind when these climate protesters actually go and visit somebody's environment. But that's that's what's going on. So what's being reported here is that it was a village. A village was being torn down for the process of just pulling that awful, evil coal out of the ground to power people's electric cars all over the place. Well, what did this village look like? Well, it looks more like a squat to me. They're calling it a village. I mean, I guess if you call that a village, you can call anything a village. It's a group of, climate protesters, and this is right from Greta Thunberg's page. So this is probably some of the nicer part of the village that we're looking at. Climate Strike Week 230. Wow, it's 230 weeks they've been doing this. We're currently in Loser Wrath. I don't know if that's the wrath of the losers here. Lützerath, I believe that is. A German village threatened to be demolished for an expansion of a coal mine. People have been resisting for years. Join us here at 12 or a local protest tomorrow to demand that they don't extract energy from the ground for all of our iPhones that we show up at the protest with and charge our batteries on. Anyway, this being a squat, I'm sure they all had permits for this and owned the property. I'm really doubting that situation there. Now you can see here, dozens of them made it to the protest. There was at least a dozen as they squirmed around while the police were trying to gingerly push them away. Again, we know what real police force looks like. If you're protesting for your freedom That's a completely different story than if you're protesting for some corporate conglomerate agenda that they want across the globe. Here, again, is some of the footage of her being gingerly taken away by 4 officers with a smile on her face. Wow, really, really hard-pressing stuff. Again, this is the footage that's letting everybody, well, everybody's talking about this as, well, look at this staged thing. This is a big photo op for Greta Thunberg. Unbelievable. Anyway, again, we know what force looks like here in Canada, but they also do in Germany. Here's German police treating a man like a dog in a peaceful demonstration. The other is the same German police with Greta Thunberg today at the 17th. Find the differences. Take a good look at Greta's face. Insulting is I guess it's translated, so interesting there. But yeah, it's different. If you don't want something put inside your body against your will, I got a little bit of a different reaction than if you show up to protest against again corporate things. So here we have from Andy No at these autonomous zone at the, of course, autonomous zone is, they're calling it a village. Autonomous zone, we might think more like Antifa's CHOP in, I believe it was Seattle a few years ago. Andy No reported that one as well. But the Antifa are there, and they're attacking independent reporters that are trying to report on what's going on at the scene. I wonder why they don't want journalists seeing what it is that they're doing at the scene. Now, you can watch as climate activists in Lützerath, Germany, where Greta Thunberg was recently detained for moments as she showed up momentarily. They cemented themselves to the ground and cried for the police to free them when the weather got too cold. Maybe you could use a little bit of energy to heat the place. Perhaps you might find it directly below you in a coal mine. It's amazing. So this is, it turns out these are some fair weather kids that think that they're making a big difference in the planet, when actually at the end of the day, they're just embarrassing themselves and making a mess of the environment. So we all know at these protests, what they end up leaving is massive messes. It ends up looking like a landfill when these climate protesters are going after them. This is why I believe that we should have a new environmental movement around the world, because we need to counteract all these climate protesters that are leaving the environments in a terrible mess every time they show up. So I think we should definitely have an environmental movement to try to clean up our environment and press against this. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are making fun of Greta Thunberg for being arrested because of the recent spat that she had with Andrew Tate. We have hilarious how both Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg are in jail right now. Well, they're not in jail, it turns out. That's not the thing, but we have here Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg bumping into each other down at the station. Of course, obviously, people just taking the piss out of this whole situation, having a laugh at the expense of the corporate BS that was just caught trying to make a hoax. Obviously, there was an incident. There was a big occupation going on private land, it would seem, and people squatting on that land. The media trying to spin it as if that's not what was happening, but it turns out that that's the case. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this whole situation. Greta Thunberg showing up, Johnny-come-lately on an illegal occupation, as you would call it, as it's been called recently. Anytime anyone who wants freedom walks into the streets and wants to not be coerced into anything particular by their government, gets beaten down in the streets, but not not when it's an occupation for the sake of some big corporate conglomerates. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this whole situation. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, let today be the day that you subscribe to the channel. Please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell. It lets you know when I go live. I go live every Friday at 6:30 Pacific time. That's 9:30 Eastern. And then we also do podcasts every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Check your local time zone. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.